Everybody, thank you for your patience. We've had some technical difficulties here on Zoom tonight, but welcome to the second episode of the Late Night eComm podcast. As you can see, it is late at night, and Thad and I here are going to be discussing some marketing strategies. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to start a business manager. You may have an ads manager, but do you have a business manager? What's the difference? How do you start one? How do you know if you haven't started one? Well, we're going to go over that tonight because we have a lot of people who don't know the difference that we talked to, and we think this would be really valuable for you guys. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, Thad.
Rachel, it's great to see you again. It feels like it's been a whole week.
You're so corny.
So you bring up a great point, though. What is the difference between an ads manager and a business manager?
Well, so a lot of people, they use the terms interchangeably, and understandably so, because the way Facebook has it designed, when you're going to different tabs, you might see you're in the business manager, or you might see you're in the ads manager, and you might be wondering which one's which. So if you have a personal Facebook account and you're running ads off of that, and you just see ads manager, and see this thing where it says in the URL, this is the kind of rule of thumb I use, is if the URL does not say business.facebook.com, you do not have a business manager. So if you're managing your ads in a place anywhere else that is not business.facebook.com, you are not in business manager, but you are managing your ads. And that means you're managing your ads from your personal account. And we're going to talk about why you would want to have a business manager to run ads instead of just having a regular ads manager, because you may be wondering, well, what's wrong with having an ads manager just on my personal account?
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, now that you bring that up. A lot of people that we talk to are running ads. We say, so how long have you been running ads? Have you been doing it? Has an agency been doing it for you? And they say, oh, I've been doing it myself. Okay, great. Walk me through that process. What have you got going on? And they'll say, well, I just log into Facebook and I go and we talked about this last week. I'll go in and boost a post. On occasion, we talk to somebody that say, no, I've been running ads, from the ads manager. Fantastic. Let's take a look. And when we look, they are running them from their personal ad account. So one of the things that I've found that's dangerous about that is that if you get your personal account restricted, or worse yet, permabanned, you're in deep trouble. Because if you're running that from your personal account, you now have lost access to all that data. And that is not completely catastrophic for your business, but it's going to set you back, right? So one of the benefits that we're discussing tonight is the difference between personal and ad accounts and your ads manager run through your business manager. How many managers can we get in there? I feel like we're just going to layer managers. We're just going to go for the full on, massive flat corporate structure. Everybody's a manager.
Yep. We're just in this big C-suite feudal system that we call Facebook, or I'm sorry, the metaverse, guys.
Right.
Metaverse. We're managers in the metaverse. So, all right. I was talking to a lady this week, and she is running ads, right? She actually has some legitimate campaigns that she says she's been running herself, which I'm like, great. We're further along than some other people that we've talked to. And her issue was she had to keep jumping from ad manager to ad manager because her personal account was getting banned.
Oh, geez.
So because she was, running ads from her personal account. And so she's running ads for her business page. She's got like 3 different business pages, and she's running ads from, I think it's her aunt's ad account at this point. And so these are exactly the situations we try to avoid by creating a business manager and delegating. So these kinds of things don't happen. And as you scale, you can actually you can actually have people in on your account. And in the case that you do get banned or you are restricted, you have other people there who are able to help you out. And, it's not, all is not lost, and you don't have to start from scratch again, which is really helpful. Because if you've got a really good campaign running and then boom, you get restricted, it's like, okay, well, you want to be able to keep running that campaign. And if you have other people on your business account, for example, helping you do that, you're going to be able to keep getting those optimized low cost per lead, results coming in.
That's a really good point in terms of delegation and separation of duties. For example, you mentioned having multiple people in your business manager. You could have a social media manager, and all they're going to do is manage your Facebook page for you. They're going to create content, they're going to reply to comments, but they're not going to touch your ad sets at all. Your campaigns are completely separate. So we're talking about not only the ability to protect yourself in case your personal Facebook account gets thrown in Facebook jail, heaven forbid. But let's say you have someone running your ads for you and they go on vacation. We got to let our people have some downtime, right? We can't work 365 days a year. We might as business owners, but we don't expect our employees to be doing that. So you can have multiple people running your ad account, and that way when one goes on vacation, the other one's going to pick up where they left off. They're already involved, they know what's going on. So it's just a great way to keep not only separation of duties, but also continuity. When people come and go, leave, vacation, maybe they've decided to move to another agency and move to another business, whatever. It really allows for business continuity. And what you want to be doing in terms of business most of the time is assessing risk. And so this is a way to mitigate risk to your ad account.
Right. Because I know a lot of people, one of their, I guess, claims against Facebook ads is that they're like, well, it was going great and then I got banned. And it's like, okay, well, okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so, did you set up a personal, when did you start your Facebook account? When did you start your business page? Did you verify your identity? Did you verify your business legitimate existence? Does it have a phone number that's a separate entity from your phone number? Does it have a legal address? Are you registered with your state or county? Are you legally doing business? Maybe these are basic business questions to ask, but make sure you're legally doing business, and submitting those documents to Facebook can be really helpful in preventing these kinds of things from happening. And then starting your business manager and going from there can be a really good place to start, so you don't end up in Facebook jail. And it still can happen, okay? You can still be wrongfully tried by Facebook and the metaverse, but you will significantly decrease that likelihood by following certain protocols. And so that's why we're here, is to share these things. So because people have these ideas about Facebook because they don't always understand all the rules, and understandably so, because it's not clear. The metaverse doesn't make it very clear what all these rules are. And some people, they learn from trial and error, but a lot of people just write off Facebook ads and just say, they don't work, I got banned, cost per lead is too high. And they just kind of move on without really understanding the core of the issue, or really understanding what led to them being put in that situation. And like I said, you don't always, sometimes you're in that situation in Facebook jail, you might not even know why you're there. Or your ad account's restricted, you might not understand why. And you try to reach out to customer support. Let me tell you, there is customer support, but it's an abyss. So I understand if you guys are like, okay, I don't know what's going on, because it's really not clear. So don't feel alone if that's how you're feeling, but know that there are answers. And we do this stuff every day, so we see a lot of this stuff. We have failed many times to get to the point where we know pretty much what's going on. And if we don't, we can easily figure it out because we're in the platform every day.
And real quick, guys, welcome to the show, our official mascot, Monty.
Yes, this is Monterey Jack Cheese. That's her full name. She's a beautiful little rescue from Rochester, New York. So she's just
Well,
excited I'm home.
everyone give a warm welcome to Monty.
Yes.
Um, it's interesting, Rachel. You bring up really good points. Um, and it's something that we take to heart. Like, not only are we here to talk to you guys about this, but for example, in our businesses, we maintain multiple admin accounts, multiple business managers, and multiple ad accounts, not just administrative accounts, but multiple business managers. Because here's another scenario for you. We will take on a client and we've done our due diligence. We've been looking at their ad accounts. We've done a full audit for them before we agreed to work together. And yet, even then, their ad accounts and sometimes our personal administrative accounts can become restricted because of something they did in the past that we're not aware of. So, by association to their business manager, we can have issues. So, we've always got to have that backup. So, typically, when we take on a client, we will authorize two business managers as partners to their business accounts so that if something happens in one, we have another one ready to go. Like I talked about, business continuity and risk management. So you never know. We're in these things every day. And I can tell you that reading the terms of service of Facebook is a recipe for disaster. You'll never figure it out. Their attorneys don't even know it. They argue in front of Congress about it. And, nobody really knows the extent of Facebook's power to shut you down. When it happens, they often don't tell you the reason why. They just say you have violated, a policy in our terms of service. Which one? That's up to you, the person that was restricted, to figure out. They're not going to tell you. It's an automated process 90% of the time. Very frustrating. So, as Rachel mentioned, do yourself a favor, be legitimate with your business, have an EIN if you're in the United States, submit your documentation to Facebook before you have to. So do it right away. Don't wait until you get restricted and then go through the process. It just makes it longer.
Yeah, and because also if you do it after you've been restricted, there's a good chance you might not actually get, unrestricted from your business page. And your business like manager. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important that you do that right away. And to anybody that didn't do it right away, listen, it was not clear that you have to do that, you should do that's good
Right.
practice. Right? Because you're probably just following what Facebook's showing you. Oh, click here, like here's our little how-to,
Mm-hmm.
and it does not tell you need to do that. So don't worry and don't feel bad about it. It's happened to so many of the people that I talk to that it's common, so don't worry about it. But Thad, do you want to go through kind of how to, start a business manager? Because I think that'd be really helpful for the people watching who maybe don't have a business manager, just so they can kind of see it. Because I know before we were going through ad account, like my ad account is just looking at, what I was running for myself. And that's a lot, like there is a lot of columns. So I think going back and saying, okay, well, now we know this is what this looks like when it's legit. What does it look like to just start out? Because you're like, okay, well, I don't have an ad account. How do I start? So we're going to go through that right now.
Yeah. And if you could enable screen sharing here real quick.
That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
So I have a secondary Facebook account that I use for testing and things like that. I've never created a business manager with this account. So we're going to go through that here so you can see what it looks like if you've never done this before. So that'll really should help clear things up, I guess is what I'll say. So here we are. If you go to business.facebook.com, you're going to get redirected to this page. And this is, very basic information. Again, we talked about Facebook is not going to just, spell everything out for you. You can go read their terms of service ad nauseum and put yourself to sleep if you're having some insomnia. But essentially, when you're on this page, we're going to go to create account. So at this point, you want to be logged into Facebook already. Going to go to account, and it's very, very basic, as Rachel mentioned. They don't point out a lot of stuff, just the absolute necessary things just to get started. So let's just call this, what should we call it? Late night eComm?
Late night.
eComm?
Cool.
Late night eComm. We'll call this, what? R and T. And then we're going to throw in an email address. So important here, this does not have to be the same email address you use when you sign up for Facebook or for any other Facebook services at all. So as it mentions here, if you can't see that, should be an email you use to conduct company business. So typically you don't want to be using your Gmail account or, Outlook or Hotmail or whatever else you might have, AOL.com, if you've still got one of those bad boys flying around.
Yeah, that's important that you bring it up, because a lot of people, when they are first starting their business, still have at Gmail account, which is why it's so important to have your own URL for your website and also that same domain for your business at yourbusinessname.com. That should be your email. Your name at yourbusinessname.com. We're just going through the basics, but I figured this is because I see it so often that it's really important to share, because it's just some things that we miss, or we might think I'll just put my regular email in because I conduct business through here. What are the business emails, like $5, I think.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I come across a lot of folks that are just starting up their agency. They're looking for, some help in various capacities. One thing I see a lot is people using their company name at gmail.com. That's fine. It's free. It's okay to get started that way, but I would say that should be fairly close to the top of your list. Like Rachel mentioned, pay the $5 or $8, whatever it is, to Gmail, get an at mydomain.com email. So mine is StratOps. I have Thad at, I have various emails for my company, but even if you want a solution like the Microsoft Suite, if you want Office 365 and all the apps and everything that comes with it, it's $12.50 a month. So very affordable. You get like 2 terabytes of storage in the cloud. I think Gmail's up to 8 or 10 by now. I don't know. You get plenty.
Lots of terabytes.
Yeah, lots of storage. You get, if you sign up for the G Suite, you get access to Google Docs and all that platform too. So there's very affordable alternatives out there. I highly recommend you do that. Get away from using at gmail.com. That will help with your spam recognition as well. A lot of company emails, like for example, Office 365, like to redirect at gmail.com to spam folder because they know those are personal. Those are not company, emails a lot of the time. So if you're sending something from your business through Gmail, you could be looking at a problem with spam folders. So just do it. Trust us. You want to take care of this. So I've thrown one of my company email addresses in here. Please feel free to not spam me. Thank you very much.
I'm going to spam you later, Ben.
Yeah, sounds good.
Late night spam.
Oh, the name I submitted for our business is not valid.
Oof.
Please consider using late night eek. I can't capitalize the second letter. They want me to capitalize the first letter. That's
you
really
also
weird.
have to be good at grammar actually to even use Facebook, or you're not allowed to have a business manager.
We can't use leet speak at all. No odd capitalization, apparently.
No zeros instead of O's. Guys,
right.
Don't do it.
No 3s instead of E's.
Yeah. Maybe we should stream this to Twitch.
There we go. Okay. So you might have caught that. It said, please verify the email through your company. So I can do that on the side. So they're giving us a little bit of information here. It behooves you to read this stuff. You're not going to learn everything there is to know, but what you will learn is the basics. Absolutely worth going through. They're going to, it's just a quick tutorial, but you'll notice right up here, we'll show this later.
a
verify
red.
your business email to continue. So let me do that really quick over here in my email.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, Thad, I think it's important to note when you see anytime this icon that in computer language, well, in on computers, not computer language, but on computers, this means stop. The red with the rectangle going through the circle, that means stop. Red also means stop. But anytime you see this banner anywhere on your Facebook in general, but on your business manager, you're going to want to address that immediately, because the more time you spend not addressing it, the more time that Facebook it basically considers you less trustworthy, less verifiable. So like the more time that passes before you verify your email or before you verify your business, the less likely you are going to be successful on this platform, because they think of you as sketchy, basically. So anytime you see those red banners that basically mean stop, just address it and try to work through it. And if you guys have any like questions or problems when you're setting this up, go ahead and you can blow up my email, actually, if you don't want to blow up Thad's. You can, yeah, but you can DM us, you can send us a message in the group, but friend us on Facebook, send us a messenger request, and just shoot over your questions, because we're here to help. So we'll be able to, take a look at things and help you out here.
Perfect. Yeah, please do spam Rachel as much as possible. I mean, wait, that's not what I meant. Anyway, so you'll see here now. Here's an interesting and a pertinent piece of information. You'll see here we're at Facebook Home. This is the home of the business center for Facebook. What we want to be in at this point is business settings. So if you hit the hamburger here, this little 3-lined icon brings out this tools menu. Let's go straight into business settings. Now, this is where you're going to have the bulk of the information regarding your business manager, all things related to your business. And what you'll see here are the people associated with your business manager. So right now it's R&T for Rachel and Thad. And you can see we have no assets assigned to these people. So assets are things like your ad account, your pixel, your pages, any apps you might be pushing out, like let's say you're developing apps, any of that kind of stuff, your data sources, your integration. So if you're connecting with Shopify, all of these things you see on the left, these are all considered assets to your business manager. And one of the first things that you would probably start thinking about setting up in a new account is your page. So the page that represents your brand online, whether it's a business or a clothing brand or a group that you belong to or want to start, those kinds of things, pages, then your ad accounts, and then probably next is your pixel. So we kind of went over this last time, but pixel is what collects the data from a point on the internet, typically your website. And as you're running ads, it collects all the demographic information, purchase history from your website, all of these kinds of things, and collects this data. And this is what we were talking about is so important if your ad account gets locked or your personal Facebook account gets thrown in Facebook jail. You can potentially lose access to that data, and that would cost your business big time. So make sure that you're aware of that, and we can't stress enough.
Yeah, that I totally agree. And I think it's easy if we think about it like this. When you're doing your taxes, or you've started your business, you want to be a separate entity. You want your assets to be separate from you. You want to be a separate entity from your business. I think it's just the same when you're online. You really want to just keep things separate for liability reasons and to protect your assets, because it mitigates that risk, like Thad was saying.
For sure. Anytime you can mitigate risk, you need to be evaluating the ability to do so. There's going to be times when you want to take risk, but you want to try and minimize how much risk you're taking. So So let's see here. What's the first thing we should do at this point, Rachel? What would you suggest that we set up now that we have a business manager set up? Let's say that we're advertising with our personal ad account.
Sure. I'm just trying to think. I was thinking maybe what we could do is on our next episode talk about how to set up a pixel and kind of maybe how to set up like a campaign. Really
Okay,
go into that because this might be a lot of information for people, just starting out, even just doing this and trying to understand where they're at and where their ad account is.
fantastic. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the next episode, episode 3 of the Late Night eComm podcast. When are we going to do the next one?
Next week, baby.
Same podcast time, same late night channel.
Yes, sir. Dad, it's been a pleasure.
Rachel, as always, absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys. Don't forget to check out the podcast on Anchor and Spotify. Also, we catch you guys on YouTube. We'll be dropping links for you. So come like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things with us. Thanks, guys.